We have met a lot of interesting and amazing people over the years, especially with the podcast and opening our new studio. Also, during the last election. Right, Nikki? We've met some good people, haven't we?
Yes, I met our next guest at the Republican headquarters, and we've been little two peas in a pod. I guess.
I know. You guys have been really creating a lot of good content lately. So on my show today, I have Evan Rubin. Welcome to the show, Evan.
Hello.
How you doing
So
there?
glad to be here.
Oh,
We've been
it's
trying to
fantastic.
plan this for a while, and we finally
I
did
know.
it.
We have.
I know it.
It's been a race.
You're-
We've been racing.
That's right. You're quite the firecracker, I tell you.
Well, you
Yeah.
know. And we won. So,
We did. We did.
You know, crack on.
I'll never forget. Nikki and I both met you the same day. We met you at that Republican headquarters.
It was magnetic.
It was, and as soon as we met, Nikki was like, "She is so like me. I just got to hang out with her. I got to know more about her." And
Well, that was an important day for me because I was, a closeted, red hat wearer. And I had recently, made a couple posts that I'm, on the right side of things. And I got so much backlash that even from my dad, who was also conservative, but he was like, don't do that. Everyone's going to hate you and come out. And they did.
yeah,
And, I was a former teacher. I'm an art teacher. And I was looking for something, anything in the community where I could just get involved.
Exactly.
Because I've been, stuck. You can't do much work on your own. You can take in all the information, but how do I get involved? And I looked it up, and just down the street from me was the Republican HQ. And I said, and it was right next to a job that I formerly worked at. And I decided it's got to be. There's a reason why I'm going to show up. I had no idea what I was going to. I just showed up. And it was interesting group of people. I didn't know what was going on, but some of the people that were running were there, right?
Oh yeah, Nikki and I felt basically the same way too, especially during the pandemic.
Right.
We felt like
Felt
we
isolated and alone, and
Yeah.
I'm like, are we crazy or is everyone else crazy?
Everyone else
Because this
crazy.
shit is not adding up.
Exactly.
And it was very lonely.
yeah,
It was.
And I wish I knew everyone I knew today back then. But
Me too.
Here we are.
and it just everybody just started coming out more and more and more people. We start meeting more and more like-minded people, and we're like, whoa, it is amazing.
It was
you know?
amazing. And I think I said like one joke, tampon Timmy or something like, I'm going to put tampons up there. And Nikki laughed. And I looked at her and we had like the same kind of energy. And
You did.
I'm kind of a wild kind of girl. I'm an artist, actor, creative spirit.
Yeah. Okay.
So am I.
So,
And there she was. I met, I have a girlfriend. It's so cool. And I met her at the Republican HQ. I mean, it was
what a
the
great
coolest thing.
story.
It is.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Okay, let me ask you. You were a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
artist, actor. Now, normally those are kind of far left type of.
Yes.
Well, you should see the artwork that Evan does, and I wish you brought it. Maybe we do have images we can put in.
Oh,
she
yeah.
I'm gonna
has
send you
the
guys
most
some stuff.
coolest photo of Donald Trump and Roseanne.
Oh, yeah. I do
And
make
we'll get
art.
Yes.
But going back to that, I mean, I went to art school. I went to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. So
Really?
I actually was there when Barack Obama was inaugurated. That was the year. And during that time, we were studying all this far leftist stuff that is now, the Marxist sort of way of like thinking about things and transgendered. Even I took a class about gendered cyborgs. I mean, that was what I was studying.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, the deconstruction of language and how, studying the grotesque body and all these different things that, looking back, I dressed up as the Statue of Liberty in Chicago with a crown on my head that was made out of newspaper, pushing a baby carriage with a broom. I was a pregnant Lady Liberty, by the way. and would go up to do these performances because I was a performance artist.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit between theater and art and the uncanny. I was studying the uncanny. So there I was, and I have these great videos. I even duct taped myself really high up to a lamppost on Michigan Avenue. So I did this whole thing over there, and I was sort of trying to think about what is the role of not only the woman, and that symbol of the immigrant of, come, bring me your tired, your poor. Emma Lazarus, the poet who wrote the poem on the Statue of Liberty. And I dusted off, Abraham Lincoln's shoes. It was sort of like quirky, almost comical. But all these things I didn't realize that I was being a rebel at art school because I thought I was following their instructions, but the critique would have been I was not going with the thing. The other students were standing there as a woman with a sign that says "I'm a man," and mine was "Liberty and Justice for who?"
Yeah. So have you always been on the right side?
I've always been on the side that made common sense.
Common sense.
There
baby.
you go.
So,
that's well said, by the way.
I really wasn't on one side or the other. I did realize recently that when I started to get involved, because the jab thing really woke me up.
Yeah,
I am my body, my choice.
Exactly.
I'm a very healthy person. I also teach yoga and things like that. And those were my priorities. I had witnessed a student go get her vaccination and came back paralyzed.
Wow.
So
there's a lot of those stories out there, that's for sure.
That's where the common sense came in, and to watch then sort of the brainwashing of things, just how people were afraid of Donald Trump. I didn't really, I remember The Art of the Deal back when I was little, like seeing the book and all these things. And, this time, maybe not the last election, because I was focused on the virus and Fauci. He was not a villain to me, but I didn't realize how much people had been brainwashed. And I feel that community, this movement of community and bringing people to a place of wanting health, wanting to have authority over their own body, that drew the line for me. But, I really hope that, students and teachers and this sort of, I watched that. When I heard that they were teaching that in school, the they, them, I went back to, oh my gosh, in art school, they were starting to come up with the gendered cyborg.
Yeah.
So if you can't identify as anything, then how can you represent something or stand for it? Mm-hmm. Like, if you can't identify what America stands for, the Constitution, how we came here and what we are, then how can you defend it?
Exactly. Well, one thing I have been, I've watched since the election is all the events you and Nikki have attended, and all the social media posts and everything you've been doing has been really, not only has it been educational, but it's been entertaining too.
Entertaining
I
and
mean,
inspiring.
We got a lot of views on my TikTok, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
And what a great community doing the 805 Patriots, the
And Nikki,
Trump train. Go ahead.
our first hangout, okay, so I made a new girlfriend, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. What should I do with her on my first date?
What you do with me?
On our first girl date. So I, of course, on my perfect random self, I'm like, well, let's
You took me
meet
to a
up.
park?
I took her to a park and then brought some toys and we played, and then I proposed that I would make another of my Statue of Liberty hats, and if she would come with me to the supermarket while I wore a tinfoil hat that was made out of forks and spoons.
I remember those
That was our
videos.
second date. I showed up looking like a tinfoil hat, Statue of Liberty kind of made out of forks and spoons.
But then we upgraded, Evan, and I really want to talk about the community and all the fun Sunday afternoons we did
Yeah.
at the 805 Patriot Rally. And the most important thing is that we got to experience something that we're going to treasure forever, is being part of Tom MacDonald's music video, Daddy's Home.
Yes, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
That is something I'm going to treasure because we're going to look back at this election cycle and just have these memories. And
That's
I just can't.
amazing.
I'm just so thankful for
Well,
that.
I'm hooked. I've been watching. I wake up in the morning and I watch Rumble, I watch the news every single morning. And so, when I got to participate at the 805 with you that one day, I had never experienced, and this is what I've been craving, even as a teacher, an art teacher, that sense of community, cheers, where everybody knows your name. Because we got so conditioned, especially during the pandemic,
Yep.
6 feet apart, keep your mouth closed. And I've noticed this has been even before that, politically correct is to have no opinion. Oh, we don't talk about that. To not have an opinion. Even when we're in the supermarkets, people don't chat and say, oh, hey, you don't know your neighbors.
I know.
You don't know your
I know.
Everyone has their
I know.
head buried in their phone.
Everybody's keeps, nobody knows what they're really doing in life, but is pretending that they do. And
Yeah.
there's no way of breaking that ice. And when we showed up that day and that flags and all the flags, and I remembered that I was subliminally taught to not like the American flag. I
Yeah.
know this because I felt it. I said, where did it come from? I don't know where it came. It's the MK Ultra. Write it down. It's happening. It's subtly, I was a girl who didn't like the American flag. So you know what I did? I started wearing it all over.
You have a onesie.
I have a
We
onesie.
have.
Everything I wear has American flag on it because I realized that I didn't understand where that came from. So once I had this experience going to that, Charlie is a fabulous guy, creating such a great thing for everybody. And I just felt like I knew everybody.
That's
and
true.
it was everything I've wanted and craved. And then I have the cutest little friend over there to play around with. And
Let me ask you this, Nikki. Those videos when you guys first met, are they still up on your social media or somewhere?
They're on my
We have
TikTok.
some,
We
yeah.
made.
Okay.
We were
And we're
waiting
gonna
for
repost some more.
Yes, we were waiting for Tom MacDonald and Rosanna to show up to do their music video, and we shot
Well-
our own. We didn't know Rosanna was coming at
Okay,
first.
that's
Hold
a
on.
big one.
Right. So while we were waiting, we knew we were doing a music video.
Yes.
So while we were waiting for them, Evan and I decided to make our own video.
yes.
And the sunset and everything was so beautiful.
And-
And she was wearing her American flag jumpsuit, her onesie.
And let's take a look at it right now. Yeah, that
We are
was a great
so
video.
Yes.
We love it.
I tell you what, Nikki, I was going to go to that the music video taping. Nikki, I had
You had another podcast you were filming.
Yeah, I was doing something like that. So Nikki went up there. I figured, what's going to be what to do. After she showed me everything, I'm like, no
Wow.
way. That was fantastic. The song is amazing.
It's amazing.
We
All
love.
the songs.
Oh,
here's
Here,
the
let's
thing.
give Tom a shout out. We
Tom
love
MacDonald,
Tom
just
MacDonald.
so you know, I saw
Yeah.
you, and this is how it all started because I love Roseanne Barr. Okay, I knew some of the people growing up because I was a child actor. I grew up in Hollywood. My mom was an agent, so I knew some people who are directly in that show, and I know the kinds of people they are. When I saw the Connors show,
That was the cringiest show I've
I
ever seen.
literally almost threw my phone, and I had like a shock in my brain, and I became obsessed with Roseanne's podcast. It's a great podcast. It's the best podcast ever to watch. And I saw her interview.
Excuse me.
Aside from this
second
podcast
best.
right over here. But no, I watched her interview Tom MacDonald. That was brilliant.
I told Brian to watch it. I hope
And
he
Yeah.
it's a
I
great
did.
one. And not only that, I had when Donald Trump got shot, the next day, literally the next day, because I have it on my Instagram, before I even met you, before all this, that song, Bitch You Missed, came out the next day. He wrote that song in 24 hours. And that is epic.
He is so talented.
I want to say something right now.
When we went there that day, the chills that
Yeah.
we were about to have.
I want to say something right now too. Tom MacDonald is doing some wonderful, wonderful songwriting. It is
Epic.
fantastic. And if you're watching this, I would love for you to come in, and I'd love to work with you. I got a couple projects right now that we could use you to score these projects. You'd be the perfect fit. You are the perfect guy, the perfect everything. So Tom, if you're listening, give me a call.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think he's just kind of absolutely genius. And he's so humble. And I love that he's working, how he's come from himself.
And he comes, he hangs out with the people. And
Well,
And
And
on a
on that
Sunday afternoon, he's hanging out
Yeah.
at the Trump train with us. I
Even
love it.
on that note,
Yes.
so before all this happened, because of my fight for Roseanne, I literally, like, I don't know how to explain this to you, but it was like God or something. I had a message, like, I know, I'm like, what is it, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or something? The people who might know me would be offended, but I felt like I wanted to fight for her. I didn't care if she knew who I was, anybody. And I started reposting her posts from her podcast and little glimpses that I think are genius. And then one day she reposted one of my posts. And I was like, well, that's cool. Like, maybe there's some sort of thing. And it just got me fired up. Like, this is a fight. We're winning. We're going to fight. And then she did it again. And she did it again. And she did it again. And then that day when Nikki and I were showing up to then see my other coolest person, which was Tom MacDonald, right after we filmed that, I did say to Nikki, okay, this is going to be the coolest thing ever. The only thing cooler in life would be to meet Roseanne Barr, because everybody knows I am her biggest fan.
So we were standing
Roseanne's
there.
Army. I'm writing a show about it in my head, like, as I work, like, that there's, like, Roseanne's Army.
But as we
Anyway.
were standing there, Roseanne was standing in front of us, and you didn't see her, and I nudged your elbow. I'm like, Roseanne's right in front of you right now. And
And I couldn't even take it.
we didn't recognize her with her long dreadlocks. She
Oh,
looked, she
and
looked
psychic,
so gangster.
another, intuitive psychic moment. I mean, I was wearing little fake little dreadlocks in my hair, too. It was almost like the universe. And Roseanne does say that the perfect time with the perfect people, great things can happen. It's just things can happen like that.
Yeah.
And it did. And I don't know if they know how much of an impact, but it is important, I think, for people who do make that big of an impact and bring the community together to know, like, they really were so real and humble, and we had such a great time.
Oh yeah, I love all those little videos you and Nikki made too. With the song playing,
Well, we can make,
They looked amazing, actually. The sunset and everything when you guys are dancing, it looked really good.
It was
really impressive.
so cool. And I was so impressed by the actual song, because yo daddy's home. And
Daddy's
yo
home.
Mama's home. And she's gonna
Clap, clap,
clap. Because,
But I want to talk about something real quick about how Apple changed the lyrics.
They did?
And then I told you about this. They made the lyrics of Daddy's Home into something it wasn't. Like, they were saying that Roseanne was rapping like something completely different.
You did tell me that's
derogatory.
right.
And
And that just goes
They
to
were-
show they cannot handle talent. They don't
I
like.
do want to say congratulations to Roseanne and Tom MacDonald for getting the #1 song.
Yeah.
And it's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Because, look, I've never been one to, like, love winning. It's sort of my thing. I wasn't, like, a super competitive, like, yeah, I'm going to win the race or the team. But
No, this was something different.
this is something different. It's taking back what was yours, I feel like. It's and for Tom too, the way that I feel like he might be not given as much credit where credit is due.
I agree.
And that is sort of this divide of, I think, the two sides of things right now that seems to be like parceling out because, you know, I think about a lot of these celebrities that or musicians that we've idolized, Eminem and things.
No more. Now I look up to politicians.
But at the same time, we never really got to vote on those people. We were fed by the legacy media.
That's true.
And now we have podcasts. We have
TikToks. We have
Social media.
We are
so
the media.
We are. There is no casting, you know, elites over there choosing, and you get your force-fed one Taylor Swift for the rest. There's only one horse-looking, beautiful blonde over
Horse-looking?
there.
Did you just call her horse-looking?
She's got a little bit of that, you know, whatever. She's cute. It's fine.
It's fine.
I can't listen to it. I mean, I personally can't listen to it. It's not my vibe, okay? I'm one of those real people. But look, we're in a new era. I think people they should be. We're all a little bit uncomfortable. But it is a new way of being. I think it is uncomfortable for the people like Eminem to be like, well, I was your everything. When we can be like, well, were you?
Yeah.
If we had Tom MacDonald, you, and all the people, you know, to choose, and this is our chance. I think they're the elites, the old, you know, way of money, power, politics, all of it. I think decentralizing that is making things better. However, AI, algorithms, all that's the new thing. I had someone in a chat the other day say, "Oh, she's probably a robot." So we're about to be having to prove
that you're not a robot.
if we're not a robot. So if you're, you know, I've been trying to think of ways. I mean, I'm pretty unpredictable. I'm unpredictable.
Just
so
start not
hopefully
sounding
that'll
so
work.
intelligent.
Exactly. So, I mean, that is sort of where we're at.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, places like this, podcasts, supporting your community, getting involved in small group things. You know, I used to do art in the park with people, you know, even just kids. I'd bring stuff and parents come. During the pandemic, I did that.
Oh, wow.
Because I did Mommy and Me on Zoom. Imagine doing Zoom Mommy and Me with toddlers. They get their stuff sent. You know, the world needs to recover. We don't realize that we went through a big trauma.
Oh.
We're all walking around with a subtle
Yeah.
trauma. Just when the fire happened recently, and I couldn't get gas because the electricity was out, it reminded me of those days of COVID. When there was nobody on the streets. Remember that? Did you ever drive on the freeway?
Oh, yeah.
That was
When
the only
there
good thing
no
about
one
COVID. There was no
It
traffic.
so weird.
I would be the only one on the freeway just buzzing down to 101, you know?
Yeah. Well, now we drive down, you have to watch out for flags waving and people singing and dancing.
I love
know
it.
I know it.
You know?
I get so
You know,
excited.
I mean, I think that's having all those Trump parades and all those events. I think that really, really made a difference because people start saying, okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
I'm joining the forces. I'm
Exactly.
joining the team.
Join
I'm
the party.
I'm going to express myself now. I'm going to actually make a voice.
So fun.
I'm coming out of the closet.
go.
That's what I tell the people. Just come out of the closet.
It's
feels
more fun
so
on this
good.
side.
It feels so good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And I would, you know, still, there's still people that have their, you know, their dislikes of Donald.
Right.
And I tell them this, I said, look, dislike the guy. That's fine. But you tell me after the first couple years, and especially after
The
the
first
4
week.
years,
No, the
Yeah.
first week of his presidency.
You tell me
Hell
that
yeah.
you tell me if your life has gotten better or worse. That's all that matters.
Really?
You
Look,
don't like his
we-
personality? That's fine. You're not dating him.
Exactly.
His personality is so funny, though.
so funny. Did you
love
see him
it.
yesterday?
He cracks me up.
Oh, I was laughing so
Oh,
hard.
come
Please wait. Did you see him?
What?
He yesterday. The newscaster, the reporter says, Are you going to the crash site? You know, the airplane, the helicopter. Are you going to the crash site? He goes, well, it depends. What's the crash site? The water? What do you want me to swim?
He's also
I sent it to you. I was laughing so hard.
he's also a whale psychiatrist.
He's
He's
so
like,
funny.
for the wind turbines, they really upset the whales.
He's a natural comedian.
Okay. Here's something I've been meaning to ask you, though.
Yes.
I noticed your purse has 2 guns on it. I noticed that. Now, what's your opinion on the Second Amendment? How do you support it? Do you like it?
And what kind of
give me your
firearms do you like to shoot?
Give me your
Evan?
thoughts.
Well, I 100% support it because I do believe we should always be able to protect ourselves.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I can remember when I was younger, the naivety of my thought was like, well, if there was no guns, there would be no crime.
Exactly.
Me, 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 me.
Oh, and then explain the
Well-
people running everyone over in their cars.
And then you think, well, then there's always knives. You know, those psycho killers, they really they don't
Or a
use
car.
guns. They like to chop them up.
No, it's
Here's
the
the
car.
thing. If we take away something that can use to protect ourselves, we are disarmed. That is the only thing protecting the us versus them. We are the majority
Yeah.
of people, citizens, versus a corrupt government. Not to say that people are going to use their guns to go against the corrupt government, but there isn't always going to be somebody to protect you, you know. And as far as it, you know, for recreational use and things like that, there are far worse dangerous things going on in the world at any given moment. I mean,
is true.
people are, you know, even skiing, you know, dangerous skiing, you know, rock climbing. Oh, you can't shoot a gun in a desert somewhere, but you can go hang glide. Listen, I truly believe in it. I actually think that, you know, it needs to be brought up more because that thought where it's like, if all the guns were gone, we would be peaceful.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, if someone wants to commit the crime, they're going to find a way.
Absolutely. Do you own a firearm?
I do not.
You do? But you shot a gun before, though, right?
I have shot. I've only shot a gun on a movie set.
Really? So have you?
I would love to.
Well,
Is anybody inviting me to come shoot some?
Well, listen. I would like to first put you through the safety training.
Okay.
That's before you even. I
Well,
take you to my
safety
range.
first. Remember?
Yes.
When they say to jump off a bridge, don't.
Yeah.
Safety first.
Exactly. Yeah, I would like to do that with you. You know, do some
I
safety
sh-
training, and then take you out to the range and just have a day of You
That
know?
would be so cool. I'll shoot anything except for drugs, needles, jabs, da-da-da. Guns, that's cool.
Well, good. Yeah, I mean, I'm finding that more and more. Even people that don't even own a gun, never owned a gun, said they won't never own a gun, but they support the Second Amendment. I love hearing that.
Of course, and I mean, guns are cool. They're beautiful. They're also art objects,
They
and
are.
they've been around forever. This is. It's almost crazy to say to take away. First of all, they're taking away our gas stoves, our gas
I know.
powered things. Do you know how dangerous that is? If the electricity goes off and you can't cook. Then, if you have a gas, electric water tank, then you can't have warm water.
Or a heater.
All these things are very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
A gun, you have agency over. You can control whether or not you point and shoot it at somebody. Not very many people are going to use that to get a good outcome, right? Because outcomes usually are made through a negotiation, a compromise, all these things, not by
Exactly.
murder. So,
That's true.
When people are going to commit crimes, they're going to commit crimes. If they're going to commit murder, they will commit murder. But evil is often performed in the guise of good. So
Very,
taking
very interesting.
away your firearm in the guise of good.
Very nice. What do you think about that, Nikki?
I love it. Good job,
That's
Evan.
great. Yeah. Good deal.
We'll go shooting.
So
Let's
what's
go. I'm down.
So what is next for Evan and Nikki's venture out there? What's going on?
we're going to be having some dance parties with Beyonce.
Dance parties with Beyonce.
I would love for us to, do some, maybe some more performance art kind of things, some cool gatherings, maybe community-based things, getting people involved. And, I think you guys have, like, the coolest thing going on around here. I mean, I can't wait to see this place evolve. There's just too much good. When you have a community, people supporting each other, making connections, that's how it works.
Yeah.
We were so separated. I felt separated. And I'm sure a lot of people out there are on their phones, trying to connect. And then you turn it off and you don't know where they are. Because we are connecting a lot through this internet interface, But a lot of people are more comfortable sharing their opinions on the screen. So how do we bridge that gap? How do we get people to be connected through media and then connected locally?
Yeah.
And I think those kinds of things, whether it's helping, to help people or even just bring people together. I mean, at my work, I'm always telling people about the 805, and they're like, oh, we know about that. We're following this. And it's always good to have something in common with people.
Absolutely. Well, I got a job for you.
All right.
2 things. First of all, since you and Roseanne are so tight, and you're a good friend, you're gonna tell Roseanne, you need to be on the Open Arms podcast, and Open Arms Brian Lockerman needs to be on your podcast.
Roseanne Barr, I told you got a lot of years. I want you working, and I would love for you to come on this Open Arms podcast. And I would actually think Brian Lockerman would be cool on your podcast. And, well, I've got a million ideas for you and Jake, and I think some interactive show would be awesome.
Absolutely. And I'd love to have her come check this whole studio out, because we have a lot more to offer than just a podcast room. We're a full production house here, psych stage in the back. We house about $4 million worth of gear. We film everything from national commercials to
Music
television
videos.
shows, music videos. We do it all here. And Tom, and another thing too, I'd love to have you come into the studio, check it out too as well. I think there's a lot of stuff that you might be able to use here also for your productions, your songs. And again, I would love to have you work with us on a few projects. It would be fantastic.
Yes, I think it'd be so cool. That camera that you guys have, the arm camera.
Cinnabot.
Yeah. And, Tom's videos are so cool. And he does them just raw on his own.
They're great.
This would be a very comfortable, cool place.
You have to give a shout out to his girlfriend Nova, because she's an awesome video director.
Yeah.
She is actually.
They are.
They're a great team.
Videos are great. They're phenomenal. I love them. Love them. They do a good job. Real good job.
Yeah, I really love their work. I just can't wait to the next song. But I'm happy with my daddy's home. I'm blasting that. I've
Me
blasted.
too. I'm not tired of it yet.
Actually, every song that he's dropped, I blast for the entire time, and then the next one. So
Awesome.
Keep it up, guys.
So let me ask you this: where can people find you and see all your?
Well, since I got shamed for my first coming out of the closet for Trump, I ramped it up. I just have an Instagram since, I was a TikTok virgin.
I have to get you on TikTok. It's much fun.
They took it away. Donald Trump wants it, so I think,
Can
I'll
you
be
still
able
not
to
download it anymore?
I don't know if I can. I'm going to try.
If you didn't have, Brian, I don't know if you know this, if you didn't have TikTok on your phone prior to the ban, you can't download it. It's not on the Apple
really?
Store anymore.
My plan was to lose my TikTok virginity right before they took it away, but I missed the mark. So guess what, guys? I'm still waiting to get in there.
But you have Instagram, correct?
I have Instagram. My Instagram is at weare1yogi. And Nikki
will post that for sure.
Yeah.
Everything will be linked in the description box below.
Yeah.
And I would love to show some of the fact is that Roseanne was reposting me. Actually, she's my only fan, so other people, you can be my fan too and be my friend. But she was my only fan and the only person that reposts me. So when we met her, which is Jake, her son, who actually runs everything, he's doing a good job. Good job, Jake. But when we met that day, I tried to explain, like, you are the only person that reposts me on Instagram. And she still does it to this day. I wonder
awesome.
if she's figured it out. But girl, I've got a painting for you. I'm working on a couple things. I'd love to send it to you. It's just for you.
So do you have your art too on your Instagram?
Yeah, some of it. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely. I
okay.
make sort of like these light drawings. They look like Braille watercolors, and then I poke holes.
Oh, really?
And then the light comes behind.
Oh.
And then when you turn it off, it looks different. I'm a weird artist, you know. Not a tradition.
Do you have a website for your art or anything?
I don't have a website right now.
Okay.
You know, I used to for just my students' work because I spent most of my time making artwork with kids and was about to curate right before the pandemic a show called Stealing from My Students, which they would make a work of art and then I would remake it. And because they're really great artists, you can't really undo what you know as an artist, but
Yeah.
they can. And yeah, it was a cool collaboration. I love it.
Well, Evan, I tell you, everything I've learned about you today is absolutely amazing stuff. I give you that.
You guys are. I'm so grateful to have met you guys. I do feel like you know, whether you believe in God or universe or perfect timing, that's what's happening these days. And you know,
Yeah.
I'm here to fight for it because I'm fighting for good. And
good.
that's the fight. When Donald Trump raised his arm and he said fight, he didn't mean fight, punch down. He meant fight, punch up. Make America great again. Not just for some, but for all. And so for the
true.
people who do feel left out and feel like some of their rights or just way of being accepted is not included in that, I would suggest that to trust the process that everybody should be included. We all are Americans and that we all want to live together comfortably.
Amen.
So
That is well said.
But before we go,
Yes.
I'm on Twitter right now, and there's breaking news. I just want to let you guys know. Breaking news,
Uh-oh.
the White House press secretary just confirmed that COVID-19 came from a lab leak in China.
No.
It has been 100% confirmed. We were right all along. Trump was right. It came from China.
China. I don't
Breaking news. It is 100% confirmed.
Wow.
100. Well, now
Amazing.
what's the argument?
COVID it came from
Can
a
we
lab
go
leak.
walk around with the sign like I told you, China?
We're
They
go-
made fun of him
Wow.
for
You know,
that.
we're going to find out more and more stuff too as days go by.
Oh, remember we wanted to apply for the press for the White House, Brian? Remember you said we
that'd
should?
be so
Yeah.
funny.
It just came out that 10,000 applicants
for
have
sure.
already been submitted.
for sure.
That means I'm probably not going to get it, right?
Wow. Wow, this is breaking news all
But
over
is-
Twitter
this
right
is-
now.
We
were
are
right.
in.
It was man-made from a leak in China. Of
course.
So there you go.
Well, yes.
Wow.
Well,
Unbelievable. Well,
Robert Malone is also a great, the guy who invented mRNA, Robert Malone, has been warning us about this for a long time. I am a huge, big, giant tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. So no nanotechnology. I'm not, no NATO, no nano. That's my,
But we're going to
that's
go
my
in the back.
motto.
We have a big psych stage in our studio. We're going to go back and film some content after this
Good
show.
deal.
So
Good
that
deal.
was a lot of fun, Evan.
Evan,
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate you coming on. I think it was fantastic. Again, I think I'd learned more about you today than ever before, which is really, really interesting stuff.
Thanks.
And I love it. I really
This
do.
show is so cool, and I think getting people in here and learning about people,
Yeah.
this is the way to do
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah, that's great. And Nikki's going to post everything to where they can find Evan. I mean, you should go check out her Instagram, check out her art.
We'll be making more.
Check out her posts.
Gonna be making more.
They're very entertaining.
we're
very,
spreading
very
the
cool.
news
There you
with
go.
a little bit of comedy,
There you go. Anything else you want to add, Nikki?
No, but that was a lot of fun. And Daddy's home, baby.
And your mama Roseanne's Army.
There
Let's
you
go,
There
baby.
you go.
All right.
All right. And Nikki, where can they find us?
You can find Open Arms on Instagram at openarms.tv. And again, follow us on TikTok at Open Arms TV. And again, I'll leave all the description in the information box below. All of our links.
That was a very good show today. Guys, always remember.
Evan, I want Evan to play along. Okay, when we say always remember, you're gonna say safety, family, and the Second Amendment.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
All ready?
Always remember safety, family, and the Second Amendment. Have a good day.
Yes.
Peace out.